Sports Wrap, your dynamic, riveting weekly sports show on Q95. The entire Caribbean is listening to Sports Wrap on the big station every Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. with renowned veteran sports commentator and retired magistrate Ozzie Lewis, famous cricketer and sports analyst Lockhart Sibo Sebastian. Sports Wrap, your one-stop shop for unique, inclusive, in-depth analysis of local, regional, and international sports, bringing you the best in sports debate and up-to-the-minute information and statistics. Sports Wrap. Every Thursday, 6 to 8 p.m. 2 exciting hours of pure exciting sports talk. The experts are in the house. Sports Wrap, every Thursday evening, only on the big station, only on Q95. Lock it in.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of your favorite sports program, Sports Wrap. Good night, I'm Lockhart Sebastian. Together with me is
Ron Landa
and Emmanuel Low Black.
Thompson Fontaine, good evening.
Well, Thompson, say it properly. Dr. Thompson Fontaine, please. properly. properly. And tonight we have a black show, ladies and gentlemen.
He's a humble guy.
Well, you can be humble and still have to give yourself your proper title. You agree with me, Lobby?
Overseas in England, you just say a number. My brother had his PhD in economics, and he says only when you can write, you put up by your name, People just call you. Yeah.
We know Thompson, Dr. Thompson Fontaine.
I know.
And we have a back program tonight. We will be speaking to the Secretary of the Football Association, Abby Lawrence, to start. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll have Thea LaFond with us, the recently won that gold medal in Scotland. She'll be with us at prime time, 7 o'clock. We also have Mr. Larry Thomas, the manager of the Dominica team in Guyana, the chess thing. We also have the Assistant Secretary of the Dominica Cricket Association, Mr. David Johnson, who will talk, and Andrew Messi will touch base for a few minutes. He said he has some breaking news. So it's a packed program tonight. But ladies and gentlemen, guys, I have a little trivia for you all. Today was the birthday of a great Caribbean man. Ronald, you know who is that? I know Thompson has to last because I know you always know. Ronald, who is that? A great Caribbean man. Today is his birthday.
So Viv Richards, man.
Come on. Viv Richards. Since you asking that, Sibo, Viv is your boy herself. And we need to bring back Viv on the program.
Yes, I have that pencil down. Viv Richards, 72 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I have to ask the question to see if you guys on top of that.
Of course. That's a great man.
All we can say is more life not for V, for every one of us, because it's all about tomorrow. We have enjoyed the time we have on Earth.
So
I noticed recently there was a release. Go ahead, Thompson.
We'll not play a little song and then we'll have a little chat of it. Let them hear something about the man himself, man. Come on.
The Master Blaster.
Catching is breathtaking. Sometimes I just wonder if these are next lovers in the making. That man Richards could really bat. It's something to see him and the attack. Plundering bowlers again and again. It's remarkable how he does stick the game. No bowler holds a terror, but Vivian Richards, not Thompson and Lily, not Baby Nash and Zika. Perfect coordination of body and mind. That brother is really dynamite. Based start spin. He ain't give a France where you holding him. Faster, slowly, you're going back to the boundary. When the bowling tight, if you see the man, he has that defense, no bowler can penetrate. Yet still he can score his runs as freely as he will. He could beat the tightest field with sheer technical skill. When that man drives you, he scores the field and leave the mid on. Standing still, his breathless leg cut right off the stump. So many times that left come and take a stump. No bowler holds a terror, but Vivian Richards, not Thompson, not Lily, not Baby, not Shanda Seeker. Perfect coordination of body and mind. That brother is really dying of mind. Pace spin, he don't give a France for you bowling him.
Yeah, but Thompson, you were saying something. I mean, today, 72 today.
Yes, he's 72 today. No, I was saying that I saw him more recently in the Pakistan League. He's one of the I believe he manages, not manages, or he's a manager.
Coach. He might be a batting coach.
Coach, yes, one of the teams. Yeah.
No, well, actually, he's a mentor for the Quetta team. He's a mentor.
The mentor, okay. Yeah, that's where I saw him a couple of days ago.
In fact, tomorrow, well, they're speaking to him today. They have an important match tomorrow. They have an important match tomorrow. So they're in the top two. His team, they're playing against Sammy's team, in fact, tomorrow.
Against Sammy's team, okay.
Yeah, he's playing against Sammy's team tomorrow.
Tibo, I'll something there.
Yeah, go ahead.
Remember when Vivi started, they were talking about hitting across the line. And today, what is happening today?
Well, you know what Viv always said. In cricket, you have to score runs. So if you can hit across the line, get the ball to the boundary, that's the most important thing, right?
Not only that, it shows you have good eyesight.
Exactly. So, I mean,
yeah.
But Ronald, you wanted to say something?
Yes. But I must recognize Emmanuel McLean, the mighty short shirt.
Oh, yeah.
For putting Vivian song. Beautifully putting Vivian song.
Oh, yes.
What I saw recently is a package of concession given by the Antiguan government to Viv. But I sent it to Sibo, and he seemed to suggest that has been in place for a while.
6 years though.
And it's only now it's been circulating. It's circulating the kind of concessions they are given to Viv and the recognition they are given to Viv.
In fact, I'll tell you what, Ronald sent it to me. So I tell Ronald, somebody had sent it now. One person said it. I tell you, if you read the story has Richards, who turned 66 on March 7. So I tell the person, Richards is 72. So if he turned 66, that would have to be 6 years ago. The story has it. Richards, who turned 66 on March 7. So I know for sure that long time he's been given that. In fact, that recently, Gaston Brown, on one of the radio talk shows, he tried to take on Viv, saying that for the only national hero, Viv should stay out of partisan politics. Because as you know, Viv is not a supporter of the government at all. But Richard is a free country. He's free to support who he wants. He's a free country. Yes. And
the only person we cannot oppose, Sibo, is God, is the mighty God that we know.
Well, one thing I'll tell you in Antigua, between a popularity contest between the two, Gaston Brown would lose badly, I can tell you that. If he tried to take on Viv in Antigua, because, Richard was the people king from 14, Antigua stole a game, Antigua against City. Richard was 14 at the time when he made his debut. The umpire gave him out. The people said no, and they stole the ground. They stopped the game. Richard had to go back. They had to be sent back to back. But he was suspended for a whole year for that. He got suspended for a whole year. 14 years at the time. Yeah,
absolutely. So. Ron Sibolobi, what was his lifetime average, and how many centuries did he score?
50.25, 24 centuries, 8,540 runs. I have that in the back of my head. That's easy. Yeah. I don't need the computer.
No, but
that's
you
see, main man.
You see, Fountain.
Mentor. Sibo has all the facts with Richard.
Yes.
When I said about hitting across the line, at the time when he started batting, it was just, how come, the Englishmen, when they saw this black guy, how he creating shots. Look today in T20, in ODI, about this even in Test cricket. It shows the caliber of the individual, how innovative and creative he was.
But you made a point there about this bad guy. That one man that was proud of his race. You
Of
know,
course.
in
Yes,
fact, a lot
yes.
of the establishing people couldn't deal with that. You know, he always used his eyes green and gold, and the kind of people he interface with. Even now, I mean, if you go to Antigua, and you know, Viv will be in point by eating his food on the side of the road. You wouldn't see him in a big posh restaurant. That's how he lives his life. I mean,
But life is
the
simple.
guy,
You gotta be humble.
yeah,
You
yeah.
have to
So,
get
yeah.
The
where you came
significant
from.
thing is when they had to move to South Africa. He
He
took
turned
a
down
firm
$1 million.
position.
He
A firm
turned down
position on that.
$1 million. He said, "No
Yeah.
way." That
I saluted him for that.
I mean, Ian Botham was offered, and he said that he couldn't go. How would he look? He wouldn't be able to look Viv Richards in his eyes. That's why he didn't go. He said he couldn't go. Ian Botham, because you know they're lifelong friends.
I know.
So, and you know, like that Brown, the guy deserves. He's a hero for only living nationally. He deserves whatever he gets from the government. So I just feel maybe people here, all the rest of the Caribbean will look. Well, Barbados, Gary Sobers has a similar thing. He gets from the government as well. I mean, in the days when West Hall was a minister, he ensured that. In fact, there was a story in Barbados where the PS, when Hall became a minister, the PS in the ministry in Barbados said, well, they have to look at that. And then you know what West Hall said? Well, if anybody had to go, it would be the PS, not Gary Sobers. That was West Hall's response when they would try to take on Gary Sobers, because Gary Sobers is still the hero in Barbados, the Right Honorable Sir Garfield Sobers. So Gaston Brown coming up with stupidness the other day. I mean, he was just wasting his time anyhow. I mean, wasting his time. So, but you know, Thompson, I was speaking to Ronald yesterday, and the question I have for both you and him: when you become prime minister, what sort of person will you be looking to head your aid bank, Thompson? Probably to tell us. I said, told Ronald I had to ask you that question. What sort of person? I'm not looking for a name, but
you're looking for a name.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm not looking for a name.
No, he's looking in terms. Not in terms of the manager, the chairman.
The chairman of the aid bank.
He's looking at
the chairman of the board.
Right. Chairman of the board.
Right. Somebody who has a deep understanding of the Dominican economy, and somebody who will be able to direct the resources of the bank to the areas that they're most needed. A man who understands, or woman who understands, what the country needs in terms of its development path, and how the bank can play a pivotal role in providing those resources, and also somebody that has a reach that can also be able to attract resources as well, because the way the aid bank works, you have to be able to attract risk. You have to be able to get some of those resources to be able to lend locally. So certainly somebody with that kind of experience.
What about the training background? What about the training and experience? What are we looking for?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. No, definitely somebody who's trained in economics. That would be a great help, because, as I said, the key role of the aid bank to me is to be able to bring development, to be able to put monies into sectors of the economy that can allow the economy to grow, that can create growth, create employment, create opportunities for entrepreneurs and so on. So somebody that is trained in economics would be an ideal candidate. And then also have the management, somebody who's been in management, who's been there and have a wealth of experience.
You know, Tom, so I ask you that, and again, I'd say, and as I said to Ronald, and I was speaking yesterday, in Dominica, I don't know what's happening to people. How could you have a chairman of an aid bank who is a resident ambassador in another country, a person who has no experience in banking or economics, in finance, and he's the chairman of and he's a resident ambassador in another country. How can people sit down there and accept it? Nobody says anything. Like it's okay. And I just don't understand it, really.
Yeah. I mean, the idea that you can have somebody like that as a chairman of such an important institution is really a shame. But that is not unusual, Sibo, because what we have is a government that knows how to find jobs for the boys, and that's why the country is as it is.
Yeah, but it's crazy. I mean, and yeah, Ronald and I spoke, and I just cannot understand. The guy has been chairman in how many years? Maybe probably 10 years. I don't know. Probably 10 years now. He's still the chairman, and he's in another country. So how you running this thing by remote? The aid bank.
And what I wonder if you cannot even understand the balance sheet.
Well, exactly. That's why I'm asking you the question, and Ronald, both of you guys experts in finance and economics. So how does that happen?
Yeah, it's unfortunate that party loyalists are emerging in senior positions all over the place. And this is a natural consequence of an incompetent government being in power for 24 years. How can a man with no experience in banking, in economics and accounting, and being the resident ambassador to China, which is a major player in the world, be also chairman of the aid bank? Interestingly, in the last financial year, which ended in 2023, June 2023, the bank is reporting over $1 million profit. I would like to analyze the financial statement, but I haven't had a chance yet because I'm very busy in my private practice. But then when you look around in Dominica and you see we are underperforming in the major sectors that the aid bank should be interested in agriculture. For agriculture. What is our main agricultural export at this point in time? What's the status of agriculture?
Zero.
Industry. Industry is in a miserable state. What's the status of industry? We used to have a thriving area of industry, bellow, benjo, essential oils. What's happening in that area there? The industrial estates. Who is occupying the industrial estates? Is it commercialized? Is it for rent now? So I am a little concerned as to the performance and analyzing the performance. However, when you're an ambassador of such an important jurisdiction, you must have some training in diplomacy. You must have a power of speech and to be able to speak the language of the country in which you are the ambassador and have some presence. And the gentleman is lacking in all those areas. So I am perplexed that he is the ambassador to China and still the chairman of the aid bank. We've got a similar situation with another ambassador to the US who is not well organized to be ambassador to the US. And these are two major areas that we should have more persons who are well organized to represent us and to get support from those two major jurisdictions, the US and China. Notwithstanding, our government is emphasizing the positioning of loyalists all over. You see certain areas or permanent secretaries. You see young ladies that are well connected becoming permanent secretaries. The first job that they ever do in the public service is being a permanent secretary. Then you see permanent secretaries becoming minister, senior government officers becoming minister, and on the top of it all, you got a permanent secretary becoming the president of Dominica. What do you expect? What kind of level of performance do you expect? And this is why we are underperforming, because we are not putting the right people in the right places.
Yeah, we have a caller. No. Go ahead, Thompson. Go on.
No, I just wanted to support Ron on this. I couldn't say it better than that. When you have this kind of cherry picking of positions and putting people who are not really qualified for the role, I mean, what qualifies Dominica's current ambassador to China to be an ambassador? Even no training in diplomacy. He did not come up through the ranks of the civil or public service or the foreign service. How do you get to those positions? I mean, so as far as I'm concerned, there is zero representation. We are not getting representations in those areas because the job title is certainly above the competence of these individuals, and that happens in several instances in Dominica, and that is one of the ways that this government has succeeded in literally destroying the country. So going back to the aid bank, I mean, the aid bank has not done anything in terms of lifting up the economy, in terms of playing a pivotal role in aiding, hoteliers and restaurateurs and agriculture, providing loans. There was a time when the aid bank used to actually give loans to farmers. I'm not even sure that even exists these days, so it's just really sad, Sibo. We're in a very bad place.
Yeah, because I have to ask you that because I don't understand. Yeah, hold on. We have a caller. Yeah, hold on, Lobby. Good evening.
Good evening to you, Local Sebastian.
Yes, sir.
This is the man himself.
Yes, sir.
Good night, sir. Good night, sir.
I just want to bring out something that happened on the 5th of March, Tuesday, when I was going home. It is a serious situation with our police here. Mr. Sebastian, I was going home after work, close to Harrow Agency there. Laboratory ship on the difference, all the people coming down on Bath Road. A bus stopped in front of me by trying to cut across the bus to go to Baba State. So the person put out the head at the bus and telling me, Jamal, you don't know there Brian Linton upstairs now? Sibo, a policeman called on me from in front of the police gate with a rage. And I couldn't believe Mister was in that type of animal kind of way. I went frightened. Oh, unblock the road. So it's have vehicles in front of the bus, but they're moving slowly. But I trying to go across, so the person talking to me. Oh, don't let me. I say, let me tell you something. All the blocking road all over Dominica. The road block on the bayfront, so all the vehicles passing here. All the blocking road. Don't obstruct me if I put you in the cell. The boy frightened. I said, sir, what you tell me? You want to put me in the cell because I saw the blocking road? I've never been locked up by a police. I've never been charged by a police. I never go to jail. I'm 62. Next Wednesday, I'll be 63 years old. I'm older than you, sir. Have a little respect for when you see people talking. I do not insult you. All I say on the blocking road. Don't let me put you in the cell. I tell you, you know, boy. I say, Mr. Penn, I'm John Baptist. You don't know who to put in the cell. But I wouldn't sleep in that cell, my brother. And God is above, and God watching everything. He said, I know God is above. I said, well, God is in charge. I know God is in charge. But don't let me put you in the cell for obstructing when I tell you the road blocked. And it's rush hour, and all you have to block the road. I'm frightened. I never get that in my life before.
Well, thank you, bro.
These fellas
Thank you.
are angry.
Yeah.
And these fellas will do anything right now. And I'm very, very disappointed with him. I never had a beef with him. He was the last security I live at the port. And I don't know what's going up in that. These fellas are not natural. Believe me. Have a blessed evening, my brother.
Well, you know, that's another story in Dominica now where police have been let loose in Dominica now and think they can just do what they want, and citizens now are being harassed in Dominica. And I only hope they don't tackle the wrong person. That's all I will say. We have another caller. Good night. Hello?
Good night, Steve-O. Good night, Dr. Fonte. Good night, St. Joseph. Good night, panelists.
And Ronald Lander, Black here.
How much profit Bank made for the year? $1 million?
Yeah, just over $1 million. The reported profits. But unfortunately, I've not been able to verify it.
But it looked like Madison Scott is making more money than Bank. That's a joke. I mean, that is pretty low for a country that's talking about a development. I mean, that country's scholar. Bank, a bank that's supposed to look after industries, agriculture, everything else, only make $1 million in profit. But Dominica collapsed. That's not a country. Madison and Scarlet making more money than Dominica combined. God bless Dominica. Thank you.
Good, but you know, as caller Thompson, I have a question for you now in view of what the caller say. If the Bank, is that the portfolio for them to be making big profits?
Right. No, it should not be. It should not be. You know, right. I'm more concerned about where they have invested in, what they have done to stimulate some kind of economic growth, to create some jobs. So I would like to see in their reporting that they can report this past year, we successfully created X amount of jobs in these industries. We assisted X amount of farmers. That's what I want to see, not so much the money, because it is not strictly speaking a commercial bank that is profit driven. It's supposed to be developmentally driven, you know, supposed to be driving development, driving growth, you know, and that's how it should be reporting. So, I mean, you can get $1 million on lending. I'm not sure where they're lending, and that's what Ron, will be good to see which areas they're actually lending to. Have they moved away from the traditional areas of lending? Are they now into giving loans for vehicles and so on? That's something that we have to find out.
We have another caller. Let's say good evening.
Good evening, gentlemen. How you all doing?
Very good.
Very good.
Well, become a country now, you can barely speak. So I have to be careful how I speak on the phone. Congratulations to Miss Thea LaFond, born American of Dominica.
Well, Blue, she'll be on about 7, so you'll be able to call her.
Born Dominican.
She'll be here at 7.
She's born Dominican?
Yeah, she was born in Dominica.
Yeah. Oh, I thought she was born American.
No. She was born in Dominica.
All right, then. You know, in Dominica right now, you can barely speak. Would you went to, what you call that place?
Inland Revenue, not Inland Revenue. Audit Department. Yeah.
And he asked to speak to the person in charge of there. And apparently they told him the person wasn't there, the person can't come to him. So he demanded maybe to see the person. So he wanted to know what happening to our money. We're missing money in the country, and you say the country broke. So we want to know what's going on inside there. Some woman came to him, I think, tell him to move from there. They push him. He didn't push her back.
You mean a member of staff pushed him? That's what you're saying?
Apparently, that's what I heard. I don't know how true it happened. If it so it happened, the woman pushed him. He did not push her back. He went to make a report, and instead of going to the person that pushed him, they didn't arrest him the day that happened, 2 or 3 days. They arrested him on Sunday morning. Arrested him on Sunday morning. He was taken to court, I think, and right now, but you cannot talk for 2 years.
What do you say, can't talk? What do you mean?
Well, they tell him he can't go to a public place. And if he go to Dawasco, and he agree, my money I spend, you give me a bill that's too high, and he demanding to know why my bill high, so then he will be taken to the court and he'll be sent to
You mean, so, okay, what was he charged for? For
public misconduct or
public disorder. He has been given a 1 month suspended sentence. So if he does a similar thing, he can be sent to jail.
Yeah, but can you stop a man from speaking for 2 years or know what law?
That is nonsense.
What law in Dominica that can happen?
So we're in serious situation in our country, and I don't know if Buju can appeal that. Somebody that know better should maybe try to talk to Buju about that. Bye-bye.
The interesting thing about that, the penalty is $250 or a month in jail. They forget the $250, they came with the month in jail. I mean, it's laughable, but that is where we are in Dominica,
No, we're not in trouble. We're in a serious state. I'll tell you somebody.
He did not attack anybody. He did not hit anybody. He was not physical with anybody. He just spoke. So why not give him a warning? That is something where you should even get off with just a warning. Or the $250, but why put a man at risk of jail for that kind of offense? It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling.
Why? We're really in a state in this place. I don't know. Anyway, let's take the last call and then we'll take a break. Good evening.
If you talk, you are wanted man.
Well, you're right. You're right. Well, she's right. The caller is right.
Good
evening. Hold on, Lobby. Good evening. Hello.
Yeah, Sibo, I just want Dr. Thompson to correct. Mr. Fontaine, remember, Ed Bank become like the leading bank in Dominica. All banks left Dominica already.
No, we still have the National Bank. The National Bank is the leading bank in Dominica. There's an unfortunate thing about the National Bank which I'll not discuss at this point in time.
Go on, okay. I know. One caller, Dr. Fontaine, listen. Go ahead. Hello? You gone? Thompson, you heard what he said?
Yeah. I think he was saying that they're the leading bank in Dominica. No, but that's what I'm saying. We need to find out exactly where they are putting the money, because it's not going into agriculture. Certainly, it's not going. I'm not seeing any new manufacturing enterprises being helped. I know our restaurateurs, hoteliers have been crying. So where exactly is the Aid Bank investing its money? And that's a legitimate question that we need to find out. So hopefully when Ron is able to look at the books, he'll be able to come back and tell us next week. But I suspect that money came from areas other than developmental areas in the economy.
Guys, that's a nice text from Angela Arlene, who is saying, good evening, guys.
Very good.
I've heard of Angela for a long time.
Very good. Very
saying good evening. My bro, good evening. Thank you, man. Angela Arlene, that said the text there. Nice that we could hear from Angela Arlene.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wish you could have given us a call for a few minutes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's nice. Really, really nice. So anyway, we'll take a short break. New Zealand batting first in the second test against Australia, 21 without loss.
I'm watching it live as we speak.
Oh, you was right. 21 without loss. Okay, we'll take a small break.
And then 14, young on 7. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe, and Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles. Nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies, and check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Yeah, we back on?
Yes, we're back.
Yeah. Well, we're going to be speaking to the PRO of the Dominica Football Association. As you know, the football season starts. Right. Good evening, Mr. Abby Lawrence. Let me say Happy New Year to you, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Sebastian. Happy New Year too as well.
Well, you know the panel
and the panelists on board.
Yeah, well, this is the first time we're really speaking to you for the year. That's why I said Happy New Year to you.
Well, Happy New Year and congratulations as well. Newly married as well.
Thank you, Dr. Thompson.
Congratulations to you and your beautiful wife.
Right. Yeah. So, Abby, let's get straight to it. The football season starts this weekend, right? Am I correct?
Actually, good evening to the Dominican listeners and those that are listening via the Q95 and the other media with Q95. Yes, the President Cup starts on this weekend, actually on Saturday at 4 p.m. with Wayne George Academy playing All Saints, followed by Fokole United FC playing Hallen. That's a new feature of the Dominica Football Association. We have 32 clubs will be playing in the round of 16, and it's a knockout and out. So if you are knocked out, you will be out of the competition. So really and truly, the football season commences on Saturday.
So it's this first trophy is a knockout competition, right?
Yes, please. Knockout. And then it will not just play one time. We will start the season with the President Cup, as rightly said. And following that, in a few weeks, the Premier League will start. So there will be a halt to the President League to continue with the round of 8, then followed by the round of 4 and the finals. So we'll have competitive football throughout the year. So the President Cup actually starts on Saturday, where we give every club, this is a new feature, every club will participate in the President Cup. For other years, you would have the Premier clubs playing on the top 6 of the first division, but this year we saw it fitting to include all clubs to really be part of the President's Cup for this season.
So when you say all clubs, explain to people what you mean.
Okay, so normally we would have 10 Premier teams, 10 Premier clubs, and these 10 Premier clubs would compete with themselves and the top 6 of the first division. But this year we are saying, okay, let's have competitive football with all the clubs. So we have 22 first division clubs that are registered and got their license, together with the 10 Premier clubs that are existing. They will compete for the President's Cup, and the winner will receive $10,000. The second place, 5, 3, and 1,000. We will be giving the fourth place as well a small token for their competition, for this competition.
Hello.
I'm there, I'm just awaiting questions from you. So
yes.
The President will be the 32 clubs that will license with the DFA for the season 2025.
So,
what will be other question?
Yes, question. I'm hearing about licensed club. So you're not satisfied with the with how big is the club in terms of membership? Do you look at membership to be a licensed club?
Well, Lobby, there are logistics. Really, the DFA cannot tell persons how many members, but to play in our league, it is required from CONCACAF and also the federation that our club should be licensed. And there is a process, so you can have a number of persons in your club, players, non-players, but this is the prerogative of the various clubs themselves. And the FA do not put a limit as to the number of persons that are on the club.
Yes,
go ahead,
yes, sure. Yes, I also wanted to ask about the availability of grounds of football playing facilities as you start this knockout. You said the 22 plus 10. In terms of what do you have at your disposal in terms of grounds?
Going forward, we foresee you making use of the Windsor Park. As we know right now, they are doing some work at the Windsor Park. But for now, the games will be held at the Stock Farm Training Center. Going forward as well, we will propose, and we continue to do so, propose to the community, the various communities where there is lighting to play at least one of the weekday games in either Portsmouth or Dubla, wherever the FA have lights installed. But we know that is one of the many challenges that we as an association is facing, that our fields are not littered, and hence the games will be played at the Stock Farm Training Center.
Wow.
Officials, referees. Do you have a large enough slate of referees to accommodate that level of competition?
Well, this is one of the many challenges posed by the DFB, and as a result, we presently have a pool of referees being trained for our programs, and we know that the manpower can be a little problem, but we've since organized ourselves in a way that we can utilize the very ones that are training together with the existing. So we will have a pool of referees to take us through, because when the season starts for the Premier League as well, we'll be seeing 90 games of competitive football. It's a two-run game. So this season we are playing football on a non-stop basis. So as soon as the President Cup kicks, following 2 weeks down the road, we will have the opening of the Premier League. We will put a small hall to the Premier League to open the first division, and then the women under 20, under 15. So we have competitive football going on throughout the season, and these are changes that many would not expect. Even as we speak, this weekend we will also see the culmination of the RTC program. The RTC program is the Regional Training Center program, where we are scouting presently for our various youth tournaments that will be coming. So the RTC was geared to scout extra players within the pool of what is existing, and this weekend we'll be bringing it to a halt, to a close. And I must say, our young persons in Dominica, although we lack the necessary facilities, but the talent and skills that they portray, sometimes we do not see. But what we've seen for the last 15 games with the RTC is commendable. And I must say, thanks to the coordinators of the RTC program, we've seen such magnitude of talent that will be coming forward. And as we're working with the RTC, this is geared towards now building better foundations, because one of the things the DFA is advocating now together with the sports division is that within the primary school range, that there are trained persons that know the football, that can talk the football, that can execute proper training disciplines, so as to give the children a better hand on the ball. So even as we talk now, there is, recently we had a graduation ceremony of our coaching program, and at least 17 of our coaches received their license, their D license to...
What type of license? What grade?
D. So the D license, that's just to certify that, hey, we know the basics. But from the D license, immediately after this, we are going to have the C license. But as we speak now, there are about 14 of our senior coaches that are doing the B license with CONCACAF. So there is quite a lot happening within the confines of the DFA right now. So it's not just business as usual. I also have some very good news for parents and even the national, those that are listening, because sometimes people say, oh, they are not hearing much, but come on the 14th of March, thereabout, Mr. Anthony Roy of Essex University will be here to do some scouting of our national players. And we extend an invitation to all under 17, under 15, under 20, and even senior national players to be part of what is going to happen. Because one of the things that we've noticed before is that, and our players, although the talent is here, but we need to work on the academic side of it, because playing football is one thing, but to get a scholarship where your grades can meet. So the DFA now is in the process of organizing themselves, ourselves, so as to better our players academically. So hence the scout will be coming, and more information will be given to the public in terms of a news release. But this is an exciting time for the Dominica Football Association as we prepare ourselves, as we prepare the nation, as we prepare our youth for tournaments. As we speak, the senior national team is in training for their World Cup qualifiers against teams such as Guatemala and Jamaica and others. We know it's a mammoth task, but together we can push and pilot, like I always say to the players, and pilot them to do better. Because one of the things I normally say to them, everybody in the island becomes expert. But when we ask the experts to bring in the talent, some of us shy away from that. So I want to commend the senior national men team for standing up to the plate already and begin their training. Although we did not do so too well in the under-20 tournament, but we know, as we've said, with time and with proper execution of duties, we will see a better product as time goes on.
Let me ask you, the World Cup qualifiers, are they going to be home and away?
Well, Thibaut, yes and no, you know. Yes, that's the normal trend. But we know the logistics for the home and away games in Dominica. We just hope and pray that by then the stadium will be completed with proper lighting and other logistics set, because this is not just the DFA giving, it will have to take a collaborative effort of this.
Well, let me ask you, you say the matches are in June, right?
Yes, in June.
But you said about proper lighting. Have they started work on the lighting in Windsor Park?
What I saw happening in the Windsor Park is the fixing of the pitch.
Well, exactly. So that's why I asked you the question, because you said that you hope by then the lighting. If we are in March, they haven't started. There's no way.
That is not in my purview to answer.
No, but you that just said you're hoping that there'll be lights by June.
Hope is a big word.
It was you that's why I asked you the question. I didn't say that, because I know there's no way they could have lights before probably. So I don't know why you would mention that.
I still use hope, because we know things can happen by the slip of a pen in the country.
Oh yeah? Oh, you are very right. Okay, I hear you, man. I hear you. Things can happen by the
question.
Go ahead, yeah.
Question for Mr. Lawrence. Mm-hmm. The first question is this, Mr. Lawrence. It has to do with officiating. How many officials you have on the FIFA list in Dominica presently?
Well, presently we have two, and I want to say two, but one is not so active, but he's part of the training of our referees. And presently we have Mr. Clyde John Baptist, one of our very own, who is normally called up for duties. But in time, based on what is happening now, we will see a new pool of some of our officials being called to do the FIFA rigorous, what I would say, training. So it's just a matter of time. We are just awaiting now the final results of the very pool that they have, together with what was existing, and develop a program. Because as PRI...
Just now, Mr. Lawrence. Mm-hmm. Mr. Lawrence, just now. First of all, do you all still, because I was involved, is there still a FIFA test every 3 months?
That happens every time, Mr. Robert.
So where it has been, I know some time ago it was held in Grenada some time ago. Mm-hmm. And all the officials failed. So what is happening? How do they get tested?
Well, there is within the DFA a referee subcommittee, and they get tested by the very officials that are designated by FIFA, because I can tell you for sure, I know Mr. Neron and Mr. Kalai John Baptist, Christina Sobers as the lecturers to such a program. As to being honest, as to how and how regular they meet, I cannot tell you, because most of the time I'm up in the country, and when it's time to do extra work, it takes me a little while to get to them. But nonetheless, I can say without a shadow of a doubt that I know they are, because presently we have a pool. That's why we can say that we will have competitive football come this season.
But do you know? But do you know that quality officiating is very important to raise the standard of your league?
Well, we know that, but I always say to people, and I will say it again, even in the leagues that we look at in the UK and others, the very referees as well. But
you can't come with that. No, I think, come on, man.
Going forward, we can only present what we have and those that make themselves available, because most times people give an association or people give blows to what they do not know. But if people do not make themselves available, then the pool of referees remain the same. But I know I can speak on a fact that the DFA opens it, is an open door policy where we ask for those that are willing to officiate, allow them to be trained, pay for the various trainings. But it is two persons that come. It's not in the DFA purview to punish anybody for that.
Thompson, you have a question?
Yes, sure. I wanted to come back to this World Cup qualifying, the CONCACAF World Cup qualifying. I know it starts later this month, but Dominica...
Not this month, in June.
The CONCACAF starts this month, but Dominica plays in June, yeah? Dominica plays on the 5th against Guatemala and on the 9th against Jamaica. Now, we know how critically important the home advantage is, or home court advantage is. The players' ability to play before their home crowd, and you said that now depends on whether or not we have lights in the Windsor Park. Now, if for some reason we're not able to set up the facilities at the Windsor Park for that game, what is the plan B? Where becomes our home court, or do we have to end up being at the mercy of those countries?
When we reach this leg, we will know exactly which one, because I know I'm going to that because I know the DFA works in collaboration with other FAs in other countries, and
is this sad?
That is decided. It is sad. It is sad. It is sad that we will not be able to have everything one time. But the DFA works in collaboration with other FAs in the region, and that is one many people will not know. And this part of the football costs DFA lots of money to charter flights to get our athletes out, to bring them in. It costs a lot, and in time we just pray that the Stockton facility will be completed in due time, and then we will be able to see home and away again, because I can tell you, coming this year, we will see another phase of the Stockton facility being dealt with, and as a result, you never know, based on how smooth things are executed without weather and other impediments. We may see games, but it's a matter of planning well, and allowing now the various bodies, that includes the various sporting bodies to come on board, and the various private sector persons to come on board, because I say to people that the football is not run by the DFA only. We ask every sector of the country to be part of it. The parents, the private sector. Let us market our athletes. Let us market DFA. Let us move aside that myopic, they're doing it this way, and let's come together and find collaborative ways where we can better our athletes. We can stay back home and see our athletes in the UK and see them like that, and see them other places. And in this regard, we can see the judus and the other persons be on international TV and know that there is a product on island that we can stand with and we can stand for. So that's where we are.
I understand, but the reason why I raised the issue of the Plan B, I remember a couple of World Cups ago, we had a qualifying game against Mexico, and we ended up that our home was San Antonio. The problem with San Antonio, Texas, was that we were playing on artificial turf, and our guys were playing on artificial turf for the very first time, and they came to play with the regular pegs that we would play for on a grass field, and we were completely outplayed. I think we will end up getting 10 that time. So I'm saying that we need to be thinking about those things beforehand in terms of if we don't have it, where we will be going.
Without tripping you, we do have our artificial turf, and also so back then we had the near grass, and Dominica is fortunate to have the artificial turf and the grass and other areas where we can.
So we'll be better prepared this time. Okay.
And every other thing as well.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Lawrence, thank you for that. We will obviously every week now we hope to have you on because you have to give us the results of the matches. For instance, the matches this weekend, we'd expect you to give it to us next week.
The Lord permits, Brother Sebastian.
No problem. And any latest developments and any latest development in football, so you keep us in touch, okay?
So just to remind the nation that come the 14th of March, Mr. Anthony Roy from Essex University will be on island doing some scouting. Much information will be given, so just please stay tuned to the radio, to the various media houses, and you will visit the FA page as well to see how you as a parent could allow your son or daughter to be part of what is about to unfold on island. So God bless you all. God bless the Commonwealth of Dominica. Have a good night.
Thank you very much, guys.
People,
thank you.
Yes,
thank you.
Sebastian.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I sit here and I'm listening, and I'm just shaking my head, Sebastian. Seriously, I'm not shaking my head.
By the way, Angelo Allen does say hi to all of you guys, eh?
No, let me tell you, Sebastian, this thing he just said a while ago about this scout from the US coming and tell parents. The first thing we have to do here, that's what I used to do. You have to encourage the kids to do well at school. You have to know what is expected of the kids going into the US. If this is a past scholarship they're going to get, if they're going to continue high school, you should have these things already. All right? You have to encourage the kids to do well at school. First hurdle is to get a CXC, Math and English, and you have very, very important. Do you agree with Fountain?
Yes, I agree with you.
Hold on. Let's take a call there. Hold on.
Yeah.
Good evening. Yes?
Sibo, that's Toast here.
Yes, sir.
That's Toast here, Marvin State.
We're hearing you, Toast. Go on, make your point.
Yeah. What I'm saying, Sibo, I think you should get Gerald George to come and explain about football because that PRO seems to know nothing.
Well, Toast, to be fair, Dominica is a democratic country. He was elected by footballers. Huh?
The man knows nothing about football, I listen in there, and it's just a pack of foolishness I hear,
Well, he was elected by footballers.
Criticism. I don't think
that's right.
You don't answer certain questions, but I just don't understand that.
No. Well, we don't want to criticize our.
No, I don't think that is fair. I don't think it's a fair criticism.
No, but we cannot get Gerald George. It's no longer the PRO. When he was the PRO, we were happy to have him. He did a good job. So now with Eddie Lawrence, he's the PRO.
Every question you ask the man, I am not privy to answer. But what kind of foolishness is that, man? Football, we're talking. Yeah. You have a President Cup. You're talking about 10 and 22. You can't explain how it's going to happen if the senior team going to play with the junior team. But that's a joke, man.
Okay, thanks for your call, Toti. But we just cannot. The man is the PRO. He's the appointed PRO.
Yeah, and also I don't know it's a fair criticism because I understand, because the questions, for example, about the facilities but it is a big problem that we have in Dominica. Imagine we are playing qualifiers for World Cup. I'm not even sure if we can get to see a game in Dominica. Come on, man.
And he made the point. That's why I asked him the question. He said that hopefully the lights. Now, come to we're in March. Nothing has started in the park. So there's no way you could have lights by June or July or August.
But those same lights would have been in place for the World Cup, and they are not there. So I don't see it happening.
And nothing has started.
It is really shameful. I mean, what kind of encouragement are we giving to our players, you know?
No, but in the first case,
they need to play before the whole crowd.
Yeah, in the first case, look, he should be sincere. They should have done their work already. We are in, according to Sebastian, we are in March, May, June already. March, April, May, June. And they should sit as a body, the Football Association, and the Windsor Park body. And gentlemen, look at June. Yes or no? Will we have it? Just call and say no.
No, we cannot have it. Not really. We cannot. It just cannot happen.
Right.
In fact, right now, they're working on the pitch. The guy was here. It will take about 10 weeks, he said. That's what he said. So that probably will go until May, he said. In fact, they cannot use the Windsor Park probably till before May. That's what he said, the white man who was here. Because they dug the whole square in the Windsor Park. So there's nothing happening in terms of lights. Nothing has started.
But now it's I'm going to say, look, you could have done, you could be working on the pitch and you're interested in working on the lights at the same time.
Well, nothing is happening, my brother. Nothing is happening.
We
have a call on the line.
Right?
Hold on, we have a call. Good night.
Huh?
Good evening.
Yes.
Hello?
People.
Yes, good evening.
Thompson and Lando, gotta heal everybody up. People.
Yes, sir.
I want to say to you and to everybody on the panel, I'm very, very discouraged by that interview you just had there.
Go on, make your point.
Who is presenting for the Football Association should be more prepared. And if he's so ill-prepared, that tells me how ill-prepared our young people are going to be. Because it's not a personal thing to the gentleman, so I hope he don't take it personal. But let me say this. If you are training young people to step in an international arena, you only know trying to get them academically now to prepare for June when Essex man comes and he doing scouting and things like that. That is not enough time to train your people. These are the basic things. You have them from day one. Once you get them and you recruit them, you would be putting that forward to them. Look, you got to bring up your academics. Because you got to be prepared for when something comes. And only say, well, we will deal with that when we get to it. That is not preparation. You cannot compete globally on the internet, not even regionally, ill-prepared like that. Is the light in the Windsor Park going to be fixed? Well, I don't know. Maybe, with a slip of a pen. Brother man, you have to approach the people who are in charge of these things to let them know, well, look, the game is going to be such and such a time. We have games scheduled for such and such a time. We need to have the light. Can you give us a certain time that the light is going to be fixed? If it's not going to be fixed, you make an arrangement for a second place if it's not going to be ready. You don't go, you cannot compete nationally, regionally, anywhere with that kind of attitude. And I'm finding out a lot of things in Dominica. Everybody, we just wait and see. They talk about something when Kerry come earlier on Macho, and we don't wait and see what the Prime Minister said. That's not how you do. I'm going to highlight my boy Blessing here, and I know he listens to. And it's one thing I've said on the show all the time. There is a book called The Art of War. You prepare for war in the time of peace. And he was one of the guys I heard bring that to Dominica attention. And while your enemies is slipping and regrouping, you are already prepared to go to war. By the time they try to get themselves together, you got them. And this is the attitude we must take. We must take a proactive attitude that anytime something comes, we are prepared. Not when you get there to see, you are loser. You're going in a loser already from, and you're shaming the young people. And I think it's not a good attitude to keep taking the young people, taking them abroad, and every time they go, they losing, and they come home with their tail stuck in their hand, and it's not good for them. It's not building the personal feelings, to make them feel proud of an accomplishment, And I don't think these kind of things work good for the young people. The young people need better. And if they can get better, they will perform a whole lot 2-3 times better. The self-esteem is the word that I was thinking of. You got to do better than that. Brothers, I'm listening. Great job anyway.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, we're supposed to be joined by Thea LaFond, the gold medalist at the World Championship. I think she is on now, and that is well, how say it, royalty Dominican people. We have the Miss Thea LaFond, who recently won the gold medal at the Indoor Championships in Scotland, a big achievement for her and for Dominica. So we want to welcome Miss LaFond with us. Good night. Good night, Miss Thea LaFond.
Good night. Thank you for having me. It is truly a joy. Thank you.
I am Sibo, and together with me there is
Rodlander
and
Mr. Loblack.
Of course.
And Dr. Thompson Fountain. So we have a big panel to interview you. I heard you last night on Sportsmax. I watched you last night.
Hey.
So Dominicans are looking forward to hear you. And let me say on behalf of Sports Rap, we want to congratulate you for a big achievement winning this gold medal.
Thank you so very much. I mean, I'm so honored to have been able to achieve such a great feat for our people. And I'm very excited to keep continuously watch us on many social media platforms and many news platforms around the world. It is so great to see our flag just everywhere right now.
The first question I want to ask you before the experts, the athletic experts, take over the conversation. Before you went to Scotland, were you confident that you were going to win that gold medal up in Scotland?
It's a good question. I don't know how confident I really was. I had a very good feeling going into the meet that I was in a very good place training-wise, mentally and such. But I think the confidence really came, day of, where it was just kind of like, okay, there's no more room for doubt. We're just going to go for it. And so coming into it, was I super confident? Maybe not. But by the time it was time to go, I was ready.
Were you inspired by the St. Lucian who excelled?
Oh, yes. Julian Alfred, of course. Even when we were waiting to get our medals at the medal ceremony, we were sitting next to each other. And she told me that after she heard that my little speech about how I saw her compete the night before and how I wanted that for Dominica, she started crying too. So I cried when I saw her get her gold, and then she cried when she heard about me crying about her. So it's really, really great. I mean, anytime I see another small island, especially an OECS island, doing great things and achieving major feats, it makes you feel good. And there definitely was like a moment the night before watching her compete that just kind of lit a flame in my heart. And I did thank her for that. And I also told her, like I said before, I was like, Julian got a gold. Okay, I got to get a gold too, because I need this moment for Dominica. So let's go get it. And that's what we ended up doing.
First, I've spoken already. Let me first of all thank you for your patriotism to representing your country of birth.
Thank you.
You must understand, I'm certainly sure you could have been representing USA.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And you chose your country of birth.
Yes, sir.
I want to thank you for that. That's a tremendous achievement for us. I'm very, very, very happy. All right. It's not easy these days, for athletes. It's not easy. But you have stood ahead. You have reminded me of Atto Boldin of Trinidad.
Awesome.
All right. He went all the way representing Trinidad. He could have represented USA, but he chose his country, his country of birth. I'm happy for that, for you. Also, Thea.
Yes.
That as the first question that they ask you about your confidence, I was confident. First of all, I look at you. You know why? I look at your jumping during the season, right? And I looking at Rojas wasn't there. I'm looking at the people at the athletes, the jumpers, and I told myself, since all goes well, Thea going to be number one. And it took one jump, and that was it.
Well, thank you for your faith and your confidence in me, Lovi. I appreciate it.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, Thea, of course, I want to join in congratulating you as well. And I can tell you how much you've done. I don't know if you understand how much you've done for Dominica by that feat. I had my friends there in Africa just all over me and so excited about it. And that's when you begin to understand how critical important sport is and the fact that you represent so well. And as Manu said, you could have being with the United States. The fact that you chose Dominica over the United States, certainly kudos to you. But let me ask you about this. World lead, gold medal, national champion. What happened during the competition? Because I was a bit worried at some point after your second jump.
Yeah.
And the commentators kept saying, "Is something wrong with the?" I've not heard you talk about that. Was it just a tactic that you use, or what really happened that you did not? And then when I saw you this last jump, that the Cuban doctor, when the Cuban jumper, when she came to jump, I realized you started getting ready at this point, and they were saying, "But you are cold. How are you going to jump?" and so on. Tell us a little bit about that part of it.
So, I did not know. I said this, I think, one more time earlier this week. It's been interesting. You're not the first one to ask that question. I did not know that taking only 2 jumps was going to be such a hot topic across the world.
It was, yes.
But
it
yeah,
It had to be.
I was really surprised. So going into this meet, Aaron, and going into a lot of meets, Aaron, my husband and my coach, he would always say, get it done on the first jump. Just put something out there on the first jump.
Very important.
And my first jump was solid, but it wasn't. I knew it wasn't enough. It may have been enough to get a medal, but I wanted to sit comfortably on top, so that if anything goes any kind of way, I'm not bumped out, say from 3rd to 4th, or from, you know what I mean? Like, I wanted to be so high up in the ranking that if anything happened, it'd be hard to disrupt me from being number 1. And if I was disrupted, max, I fall to number 2. But the goal was play it to get a medal. That was always it. And so the first jump wasn't too amazing. It was solid, but it wasn't amazing. And then the second jump was amazing. And so I went over to Aaron, and initially, the first thing I said, I was like, "Oh my goodness, we did it." And then he's like, "Take a deep breath." I took a deep breath, and I was like, "Okay, if we tweak this one thing, I think we can go 15, 20, 24 or something around that, 24, 25. And he was like, "You need to relax." And I was like, "What?" And he says, "I think you just need to pass a jump, calm your nerves, and see what happens." And I look at him, and I could kind of tell he wasn't fully saying, his full thought. And I was like, no. If you were me, what would you do right now? And he said he wouldn't jump anymore unless he absolutely had to. And I was like, "So we're going to pass." I was like, "Okay, then I'll pass a jump one by one unless I have to absolutely jump." And then he was like, "All right." He was like, "Go over there, be cool, calm, and collected, stay warm, and get ready to defend yourself if you have to defend yourself, in triple." And that's what I did. And so all I did was I went over there, I passed jump after jump after jump. The girls weren't jumping farther than me. And to Aaron, it's like, okay, we only competed twice earlier in the year. If we can get through indoor worlds and have like the least amount of like beating up on my body by reps, then like even better. So let's finish the indoor season safely, with a very low like physical trauma to my body via jumps. See what happens. Now, I'm not gonna lie. When Perez Hernandez went 1490, I did look over my shoulder at Aaron, and like, because he had the better vantage point. And I look at him and I'm like, buddy, sir, question. Am I still chilling? And so I went over there, and he was like, "It's close, but I think that's all she has in the tank." And I think that, and I was like, "Listen," he told me, "Listen, in the past 5 years, only 2 or 3 women have gone 15 meters indoors. He said, you are now one of them." He was like, "That 2 or 3 includes you." So before today, it was only 1 or 2, right? And so he was like, so the likelihood of someone jumping 15:02 or farther is significantly low. It's not impossible, but my dear husband is also a data analyst, and he's great with numbers and science and all this stuff. So he was like, the data shows that they might get close, but the likelihood of them surpassing you is very, very low. And so I was like, all right, I trusted him to get me to this point to jump 15 meters. I'll trust him from here on out. And so the funny thing is, I didn't just like truly just sit there for jump after jump. The camera kept catching me every time I sat down.
Right.
So yep. I would stand up a little bit, do a little movement. You know, maybe for jump 3 and 4, I really did just sit. But jump 5, I started getting up more. I would sit down, and every time I sat down, the camera was on me, and I was like, "So you have people thinking I'm just sitting there like a log?" And
yes, that's exactly what was conveyed, and that was the worry that you were probably cold, you were just sitting, and what if she jumps the 15 and you have to come back and respond, and you could actually lose it, and that was I can tell you that was quite a difficult time there,
Yeah, I watched the stream. I finally sat down and I watched the stream yesterday with my parents. And I did hear all the commentary on, am I hurt? Is everything okay? It's very odd. I'm just sitting. And I was like, wow, I'm not even jumping and I'm on the topic of conversation right now.
Yes.
But everything is well. I am well. And it really was just, Aaron laid out a plan and I followed the plan. And then I warmed up in case I had to go further in the 5th or 6th round. And that wasn't the case. And so it took two jumps only, which is quite unheard of. But I'm happy that's what it did. And I'm able to, take this week to rest and have a good sound body coming into outdoor season. Excuse me.
Okay, Thea, as I told Thea, gentlemen, I spoke to her. I told her that this jump she did there, last year, she had a huge jump last year. Unfortunately, she scratched. All right. She was over 15 plus last year. And I told her, when I look at that medal that she won, everything went well. She was aggressive, very aggressive on the runway. Her step, her hop, as for the step, she was close to the pit and she just sailed. That all it takes, add one thing to understand is jumping, it takes one jump.
That's what they say.
One jump it takes.
It only takes one jump.
One jump. Go back, if you can go back in time of 1968 Olympic Games, Bob Beamon, what he did, one jump, and that was it. So I think you have it. I am confident if you come Paris, the Olympic Games.
Mm-hmm.
There are 6 of you all. I look at 6 top jumpers in the world, triple jump, including you.
Mm-hmm.
It takes just one.
Yes, sir.
No matter how good is Rojas, it takes just one.
Yes, sir.
And I think you have it. You're very strong, and just continue being strong. Let me tell you, how often do they test you?
Drug test me?
Yeah, drug test you. After season.
This out of competition?
Yeah, competition.
Out of competition. This year, they've only drug tested me one time out of competition. Legally, they have to do it at least, I need to be tested at least 3 times out of competition. But the season is very early. And I say that because right now, like I said, they've only tested me once out of competition, I believe, maybe twice. I think so. Maybe once or twice. Last year, in total, in competition and out of competition, in total, I want to say I was tested almost 20 times.
Wow.
So they like me a lot. But I will say it comes with in a simplistic way, it's a compliment. Because
respect.
When you're good, exactly. When you're good, they test you a lot. And so I have the WADA app. I fill out my whereabouts. I have to be in a specific place every day for at least 1 hour where they can find me and test me. And it's anywhere in the world. So I remember being in Portugal and training there, and someone knocked on my door 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, okay, come on in. And so I do get tested quite a lot, but this year so far, not a lot. I could say hopefully it's less than my previous years, but I'm afraid to even jinx it and have them come tomorrow after that conversation. But it is quite a bit. And 9 times out of 10, if I'm competing, especially since I'm competing more now at the higher ranked meets, diamond leagues and such, I get tested. So I definitely did get tested right after going through media and shoe check in Scotland. I was the last person in to get tested for the morning session. And so, everyone was just sitting there waiting for me to pee.
Question, Thea. What besides what staff you have? What kind of coaching staff you have? Do you have a youth staff or?
Not really. When I travel, it really is, Aaron and I. when we go places.
What about physio?
So my training based staff really includes Aaron, of course, is my coach, and my PT's name is Kala Flagg. She works for the WNBA now. I met her in college when she was working at the University of Maryland when I was there. She was the head physician, the head PT. And yeah, now she's moved on to bigger things, but she's still, because I've known her for over 10 years, still, we keep in contact, and she sees me quite often. I saw her yesterday. And so it really is that. So I have a PT, Kala Flagg. I also have a sports psychologist, huge sports psychologist named Dr. Cothran. And then, of course, on top of that, I have my regular doctors and such. And once in a while, if I need any cross references, there are a few other doctors like Dr. Yvette Rooks that I can cross reference. So I just realized this. I actually have a lot of Black medical doctors that are women on my team right now, and I think Aaron is the only male on my team.
What about your strength? You have a special strength coach?
No, Aaron writes my lift, and he's pretty good at that. He used to be quite powerful in the gym, and so he's got a really good understanding of the technical jump stuff and the lift stuff. He does both.
Thea, I have 2 questions for you. Dominicans have suffered for a long time not having a track, the athletes themselves. Is there any way now that you have won this gold medal, you would use your platform to impress on the authorities in Dominica that a track is essential so that we can move forward, our athletes can move forward?
I definitely think a track is essential, and I definitely think that that medal kind of shows our country has the talent. We just have to appropriately nurture it. And after talking to Brendan Williams, I do think that there is a track in the works coming soon. But it would make me feel more confident having things set in stone, like maybe a breaking ground date, a timeline, instilled to make it happen, because you build it and they will come, right? And so, and I want a place for young athletes to be able to come and develop their own skill, even if it's just a small interest, if it's just a mustard seed of interest, let's nurture it. And even on a more, I guess I could say, selfish level, I would love to be able to come home and
train with other athletes.
Come home and train, and actually spend weeks there and host clinics there for
during the winter time.
Yeah.
And as you say that, is there any chance that Dominica can see you taking part in, let's say, the DAA, the main athletics competition for this year? Is there any chance of that?
No way.
Nobody let her answer that, please. Let her answer. I'd rather she answer that.
Yeah, but
you're asking if there's any chance if Dominicans would see me compete.
Well,
locally,
the local athletics association, if they go, obviously, well, I know in Jamaica, as you would know, they have trials before the Olympics. You must have trials. I do not know if they have that here, but in the major meet, is there any chance that they would invite you and you would find the time? Because I know you're a busy lady.
When the pits, find the time. Pits, Sebastian.
So here's the thing. I think the question is, do I have the appropriate facilities to jump and perform? And are the facilities going to help me or hinder me, right? I'm not risking anything going into an Olympic year. Now, if you ask me to come and just partake or even be there, and just be part of the experience, absolutely, I'd love to do that.
Well, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I have 2 questions for you. I'm very ecstatic, like a lot of Dominicans, with your achievement.
Thank you.
I commend you very highly for that, and you're a role model for Dominica. Lobby seemed to have raised a similar question that I want to raise here. In terms of a management concept, you have an average product and you've got good management, you'll get some success. You've got a very good product and you have poor management, you underperform. In your case, you've got excellent talent and your success story. Can you inform us of your management structure? Who is supporting your management, total management structure to ensure that you are successful? That's 1. 2, In terms of your future plans, is there any plan for you to come to Dominica to address the young athlete, to motivate them? Is there any discussion going on? You made mention of Brendan Williams, Mr. Doc Trove, and other people. Are there any plans in your future developmental plans for you to come into Dominica to motivate, to speak to other Dominican athletes, to let them see, I am here, I'm a success story?
Okay, well, one, I will answer your first question. I'll answer your questions in order. So number one, yes, I definitely have a very strong support structure in place. And it comes across as financial, physical, and emotional. Those are the three categories I always look at it in. Financial, it definitely a huge thank you. And I always see this. I know I sound like a broken record, but the DOC's ability to fund me was life-changing, truly. I do not think that this medal would have occurred without that being present. Because what happened was that I was able to actually leave my job. So I don't know if many people knew this, but I was teaching full-time, and I would wake up even earlier at 5 o'clock in the morning, get in the gym, then be in the classroom, and then be on the track after work, come home late, prep a meal for the next day, and do it all over again. And it was exhausting. I would go to Finland on a Friday morning, take off work for the day, and I'd be back in the classroom Monday morning. And I'd go to Finland to compete and then come back. And so being able to financially not worry about, how am I going to have ends meet, or being able to pay for flights, or just like the everyday in and out, having that financial stability has been honestly a lifesaver.
Big solidarity funding.
Yes. And on top of that, I'm also sponsored by Adidas, as some call it. And that also helps because my wins get magnified through contracts or bonus structures. So I'm able to, pocket more and actually just to have a more lucrative career. And that's been massive. Now we talk about the physical support. My doctors, my PT, my massage and stretch therapist, there are so many physical people, literally hands-on, like my person, to ensure that everything, all the muscles, all my tendons are doing well and are in the right place when they need to be in the right place.
Very important.
Very important. And we talk about the mental, right? Aaron, of course, is my coach, but he's also my husband. And that means that almost by default, he ends up being a little bit of a therapist too. I have a sports therapist, but I get that support at home. Not every day I feel super confident, but he's there to kind of uplift me and, let me know that, he sees the monster in me. And I'm grateful for that. And of course, like I said, I have a sports psych that helps me out quite a bit. So there's multiple aspects. So that is my support team. And of course, my family and friends, because sometimes it's nice to be Thea, not just Thea the athlete. And I can just take a step away from it and just be something else for a while. And it's just nice. It's a nice break. Now, on to your second question of being, am I planning to come home and actually speak with athletes? I would love to do that. And I actually need to sit down and figure that out. The issue is
timing.
Yes. Once again, the one thing I should have done differently this week is I should have come to Dominica straight. That's what I should have done, because this is my rest week and it is the only full week I actually have off going into training for the summer. So that means that starting next week, I'm starting my training for the Olympic Games. Now, if I'm to stop and come to Dominica for some time, that's days away from training, or I have to have a super modified workout schedule where I'm probably I'm not on the track or jumping for maybe a week, and I am maybe upping it in the weight room more than anything else. So it takes a dramatic shift in in production to be able to have me on island for maybe even a week, right? But the answer is yes, I want to do that. Unfortunately, timing wise, it seems like the best time might be, around Independence, when I'm actually done with the season, which to me is really, really late. But you're not the first people to ask this question, and I do think it is very important for me to be there. This is a conversation that needs to be happen. If we really think that I just need to be there, then maybe I talk to Brendan, maybe I talk to Mr. Doctrove, and we sit down and we have a conversation like, okay, is it better for me to go just come to the island and we make it work, even like next week, sure. I am all ears. I am open to the conversation. And if anyone's listening, let me know. Let me know.
But I'm fear.
Yes,
But I
sir.
can say here, you said Mr. Brendan and Doctor.
Yeah.
As a coach, former athlete, I know what it takes. I know what, in terms of training. I would invite you. Let them hear during the independence celebration to address at the youth rally. That is the more appropriate time at the youth rally during independence time to be in Dominica. That is everything. The Olympic Games would have been over, right? And I think, would you have more time now? Would it be a good time?
During Independence?
November.
Yes, that's off season. That's
off
when
season, right? You're right. Off season. Yeah, that would be the best time for you to come. Address during the youth rally. Be the featured speaker. Why is it, Mr. Fountain?
Yeah, no, I agree, absolutely. But since I have the fear, I also wanted to ask you, what, in terms of your accomplishment, what gave you the greatest satisfaction? Breaking the 15-meter barrier in your jump, or getting the gold medal?
It's gonna be gold.
It's gold.
Hardware is nice.
Okay.
Hardware is nice, and because if I had broken 15 meters, but I didn't get the gold, I'd be upset. You know what I mean? Like the idea was I wanted to hear my national anthem play. And that doesn't happen at second or third place.
Right.
And I think that memory lasts a lifetime. You know what I mean? And it's funny because the one clip I am actually struggling to get right now from the World Championship is the podium ceremony. And that's what I'm trying to get. And the pictures are amazing. I mean, I'll share them with you at some point. But at the end of the national anthem, we take pictures, and then there's a moment where I'm just left on that podium, and I just release the biggest like woo scream, and that photo has been going viral. But that's what I wanted. So yes, 15 meters is amazing. It lets me know I'm in a good place going into the Olympic Games. But I wanted gold. Gold is forever. Gold is forever.
And I guess the same sentiment, the same feeling going into the Olympic Games and so on. How are you feeling about your prospects going forward into the Olympics game?
I think right now I feel pretty confident. But it's a mentality of like, confident but not comfortable. Because Olympic year is a magical year. Okay, people come out of the woodworks. People you think that might be down and out for the count come back with a vengeance.
True.
And if you let yourself be distracted for a second for the goal, something could slip. And I don't want that to happen. And so, Olympics is of course at the forefront of everyone's mind. It is the hot topic. It is 2024. Everyone's talking about Paris, but right now the mentality is like, let's build ourselves to be even better than we were, indoor season. Let's just keep building. Let's get stronger. Let's get faster. Let's get bouncier. Let's get more explosive.
Great mindset. Very great mindset.
That
real
is
components. You're hitting the components.
Else comes after. So
Yes.
You're hitting the components.
Very good.
Okay. Well, Thea, as we come to the end of this interview, probably you can show off your medal. Let people see it. I saw you doing it last night, so everybody can see your gold medal. You forgot it, or you don't have it close by?
I don't have it close by, but if you stay with me, I can run and get it.
Do that quickly. Do that.
Absolutely.
I think oh my goodness, I think I left it in the car. Oh my God. We're going outside. It's okay. We're going outside. Let me get the keys.
Yeah, so you can show to Dominicans your medal, because I saw you showing it up last night.
You're absolutely right. Where are my keys? Oh my goodness. Now I'm running out. The keys.
Hold on, Lobby. Let she's hold on.
Second. Let her
Yeah.
herself.
After her.
My keys. Well,
it's okay. It's okay. We'll always have you at some. We'll have you another time, but
I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I'm so sorry.
We want to wish you the best as you resume training next week in preparation for the Olympics. We know it's a big occasion because you're going to have the main people back in France in July. So we wish you the best. We hope your training goes well, no injuries at all, and you'll be ready for the big occasion in Paris. So on behalf of everybody, I just want to say good night and thank you very much for agreeing to join us in this conversation.
All the best. Guidance forever. All the best.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thanks, man. Thank you. Thank you.
Continued success.
Thank you.
All right,
It was nice.
bye-bye.
It was nice.
Good night.
Nice.
Excellent. Bye-bye.
All right, so we take a break now, guys. We take a break.
Tibo, after
So we're taking a break, Yobi.
after the come on, I have something there for you. As you come on afterwards. Yeah.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe, and Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth. Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe, and Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Let me tell you, just hold on a few minutes because we have with us now Mr. Larry Thomas, the manager coach of the Dominica chess team. They're currently in Guyana taking part in a CARICOM competition. So we're just going to have him for a few minutes. He'll tell us what happened. Good evening, Mr. Thomas.
Hey, good evening.
Yes, Ronald Lander is here. Emmanuel
Good evening,
LeBlanc.
good evening, Larry.
Good evening, Larry. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing well.
Dr. Fountain is there as well.
All right.
Okay, Larry, tell us what's happening in Guyana. Tell Dominicans they're listening to you. Dominicans all over the world, all over the globe, they're listening to you.
Okay, well, in Guyana, what we are doing, we are having a CARICOM chess tournament among the CARICOM nation. There are 10 teams participating in the tournament. It's a teams game. So there are 2 males and 2 females for every country. And to win a game, you need 2.5 points. That is, every game, every player has to get 1 point, and the total of the points for the team, depending on the number of points that you get. Anyone who gets more than 2.5 points would win a game. There are also 2 rounds every day. So we play 2 matches a day. And the time is 90 minutes plus 30 seconds increment per game. We have with us Nigel Francis and Nicholas Goldberg for the men, and we have Zaidu Henry and Ayani Kazimi for the female. So that's the team for Dominica. As we speak, a game is playing right now. I believe Nicholas Goldberg is playing right now. That's the round 6. We are playing round 6. There will be 9 rounds. That means there will, after this round, there will be 3 more rounds. At least tonight, Nigel just won tonight, as we speaking there, but Goldberg is still playing. That's for the 6th round. Our women are struggling. It's the first time playing. And
Okay.
so they are getting the experience as they continue the tournament. To win any game, you need at least 3 players to contribute to points. And in order to win a game, at least you need 2.5 points. So we need the females to win so that we can get at least our first win. Nigel have won 1 game and 2 draws. Goldberg has won 1 game, and I'm believing he's winning this one. But our women have not won any games so far.
How many women do you have up there?
It's 2 women and 2 men.
Okay.
Are the men playing longer than the women locally?
Well, the men are more experienced. The women, we just established the women, so there's much coaching to take place. The good part, we have a youngster, Ayani Kazimi. That's the first time playing, but it's nice to have a young person, at least a teenager already.
Is she at school?
Yes, she's at the Convent High School.
Okay.
She's at the Convent High School, and she's now representing us for the first time. And that's the first time we're having a female players representing us in chess.
That's very good.
That is good experience for them, because this Guyana game is like is to gain experience also, because in September there will be one of the biggest games, which is the Olympia Games, and they're expecting to have a women's team and a male team come September in Hungary. So that will be a good experience for them as we continue to develop chess in Dominica.
So when is the tournament going to come to an end?
The tournament will end on Saturday. There will be 2 more rounds tomorrow. 1 round on Saturday, and then there will be the closing. So it's 9 games over a week period, and we'll be closing on Saturday.
So what is our position now? What's our position now in terms of the other teams?
In terms of the other teams, our position, we should be in last place for sure. We should, but with the win, if Goldberg win tonight, we should change position. That's it tonight. He's the last person playing. The other games are done. With a win, we should be in front of Guyana 2, and we should move up.
So today is the last day Dominica is playing, tonight, right?
No, today that's round 6. That's round 6. We have 9 rounds.
Yeah, but so why would you think that if you lose tonight and you still have more matches, that you're not able to get out of the last place?
No, I say we could get off the last place tonight.
Okay.
From tonight.
Yeah, from tonight. Yeah.
Okay.
We have missed opportunities playing St. Lucia. We should have won that game, but we did not close out. And also we got opportunities against Suriname. That would be 2 games we would have won and would have been higher up for now. The players have gotten some good position, but they did not close out. We just wish that the remaining games that they could continue closing.
Yes, indeed. Let me just congratulate you, Larry, and of course the Dominica team. I'm excited to see that chess is gaining some prominence in Dominica. And I understand that you'll be having your national championships at the beginning of June this year.
Yes, the national, let me just tell you like the timetable that we have for the year. Like we have our regular training at UWI at 4:30. We have our practice 7:30 on Lichess on Sundays. Right now we are going to do the semi-finals for the inter-school. The inter-school is taking place now, and on the 21st we're going to do the first inter-school. That is
when's the inter-school? Inter-secondary school?
Inter-secondary school, yeah. There are 7 teams. Right now the qualifiers are Dominica Grammar School, ITSS, Orion, and SMA. So that's the 4 teams to compete in the semifinals. That will take place on the 21st of March. And then on the 31st of March, that's when we're going to start up the national tournament. We'll be doing the qualifiers for the national tournament. That will be at the Dominica State College. So that's also, there will be a women tournament following this, also a national youth tournament, and then the Olympiad in September. So these are the schedule for the year
2024.
For 2024.
This is great, and I understand that you'll be having a very special guest in June, Mr. Jones Murphy.
Yes, we organize the tournament to facilitate him, and so he will be there with us. He's one of the right now he changed his federation. Right now he's on the Dominica Federation right now.
Excellent.
And so we are giving him the opportunity to play.
Jones Murphy, yes.
We contacted him and we scheduled the tournament so that he could get the opportunity, and if possible, he could represent us in September.
Yeah, it's interesting enough. I mean, me and Jones go way back. We sat on the same bench in high school, and I remember he did the first national championship competition at probably at the age of 11 or 12, and he won that competition that time. So that's a man that knows chess, and certainly I'm glad that he's on the federation. Hopefully, in the future competitions, he'll be able to join the Dominica team and really strengthen the Dominican team. Excellent player.
He usually, sometimes he joins us on Sundays. He contributes to the federation, and he's one of the title players. He is the only title player on the federation right now. So we are really happy to have him, and we welcome him when he arrives, God willing.
Excellent.
Yeah, okay. Larry, chess is a very powerful mind game, and we're very happy that you're organizing in Dominica training programs and you're participating in a regional program. You identified the deficiency in the women. Let's trust that you can develop a program in Dominica for the women. But we were very grateful to have you tonight, and we wish you all the best in your future games in the tournament.
Okay, so Mr. Larry, what we probably do when you probably come home, maybe we'll have you in studio and probably spend more time with us, if that's possible, if you care to, when you come back home.
He will.
Okay?
No problem. But the chess is in good hands because we have scouted at least 10 juniors that will be able to take over. That's from the high schools, and they are very advanced. Some of the students, I believe, in 2 years, they should be able to, with good training, should be able to be at the same level as any other player in the federation. So with good coaching, there are platforms that they could use to study, and with that program that we have set up at least 7 clubs through the high school. So with that, we could get the players, or we could develop chess from the high schools.
Thank you very much, sir.
Excellent,
Thank you very much. So we'll see you when you get home. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Well, nice speaking to you. Thank you, Larry.
Good night, Larry. Good night.
Good night. Yeah.
Thibault.
Yes, Lobby.
Yes, just on the athletics. I was just surprised that hearing that the Dominica Amateur Athletic Association launched its Development National Sports System project from March 4th to December 21st, Sebastian. And what that shocked me the most, I'm expecting a track would take center stage, Look, Fontaine is laughing, I'm saying that no matter what planning you have, coaching and so on, to implement anything you have, the track is important. Here we just have, we just had a gold medalist. I'm hoping that this would be, you hear this loud advocacy, that thing sounding right, reaching as far as Mont Anglais, Mont Trapiton. Yes, now we have won, and we are going all out for, a synthetic track in Dominica. I was shocked.
Well, what we can do, Lobby, next week probably we should spend more time on that. Thompson, have a discussion on that next week. Maybe we can get somebody from the Athletics Association to join us, maybe, next week, because that's important. But we have on the line the Assistant Secretary Treasurer of the DCA, David Johnson, who's going to tell us what happened in intermediate matches last night. Good night, sir.
Good night, Mr. Sebastian, and good night, Mr. Fonting. Good night, Mr. Lublack.
Good night, brother.
Landa.
And the other guest, I think you have a yellow shirt.
And you're the host, you mean, not guest. They are hosts, not guests. You are the guest. You are the guest, okay? So tell us about the cricket last week. Please tell us.
Okay. Sorry about that. I mean, actually, we just completed our round 7 in the DCA Digital Intermediate League. And unfortunately, we supposed to have 4 matches on the weekend past there, but we only had 2 matches. And I could report that on the 2 matches played, we had one match played on Saturday. We had a KFC Summit. Actually, they played against the Honorable Dennis Charles Gallo Hurricanes. That match happened at the Botanical Gardens. On Saturday, the KFC Summit, they won the toss and they decided to bat. In the total, KFC had Summit Sports Club had 292 for it. In that total, we had Stephen Pascal got 48 of 27 balls. We had Yawani Regis 77 of 74 balls, and we had Jerry Ogis 64 of 60 balls. And in the bowling for Hurricanes, we had Vivian Seats, Marshall Gregor had 2 wickets each, and also joining them is K. Jumbak with 2 wickets. Into bat, the Hurricanes scored only amassed 272.9. In that 272.9, we had Adamin Tavernier 50 or 54 balls. We had Clem Nicolas with 46 of 45 balls, and we had F. Etienne with 56 from 60 balls. And the bowling for Summit, we had A. Pascal, so the Augustine Pascal with 4 for 51. And we had CJ Charles, Jason Vidal, when he Regis, and Stephen Pascal had 1 wicket each. So in that match, we had the KFC Summit Sports Club, won by 20 runs. Won the game by 20 runs, actually. And we also had another match on Sunday at the same venue, the Botanical Gardens. We had the Nature Eyes Emerald Stars, which is the women's team, which is a Polish sports club. Nature Eyes Stars, they won the toss and they decided bat. The Nature Eyes team scored 127.9. In that 127, we had Roselia Regis, got 25 or 52 balls. And we had Annika Andrew with 20 from 38 balls. And we had Sam Cunnan with 30 from 20
Sam
balls.
Cunnan.
Coach.
Yes.
He's an active cricketer too.
That's the coach of the national women's team. In the bowling for Police, we had Jason Lamoff. We got 3 for 40. James Moses, 2 for 20 of 7 overs, and we had left for Leeds and Irwin Butt with 1 wicket each. And into bat, the Police Sports Club, they could have made 128 for 5. In that 128 to 28 for 5, we had R. Abraham with 42 from 28 balls. And K. John Back is 17 from 16 balls. So we have the Police Sports Clubs, they won by 5 wickets. The other matches that's supposed to be played, unfortunately, the match against the Nagico Northern Stars Sports Club versus the Jubla Stars, supposed to play at Portsmouth, Fences Park. Portsmouth, unfortunately, due to overnight and morning showers, there were some wet areas on the pitch, and the conditions did not allow the players actually to play. So this match ended up in no result. In the other match, Starlight versus Casual Cricket Club. So we played at the Londonderry. The Casual Cricket Club failed to show up, so the Starlights won by default.
The point system?
In the point system, we have the Nagico Northern Stars Sports Club. They're top of the table with 21 points. They played 7 games, 5 wins, 1 loss. In follow, we have the Starlights. They played 5 games with 5 wins, 20 points, and we had Jubla United Stars with 6 games, 4 wins, and 1 loss with 17 points.
Thank you. So the season, when does it end? The intermediate season?
The intermediate season, it ends on the 17th.
Okay. So next week we'll expect to hear you. You'll give us the latest scout next week. Okay?
Yes, no problem.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Guys,
Thank you.
You know, there were some schools matches today, the 2 semifinals. I want to watch a game. I was watching the game in the Gardens. That is the college and Castle Bruce. I remember Lobby. The medium Castle Bruce are batting and a medium pacer is running to bowl from the college. A guy tries a scoop. He ends up on his backside. The ball almost hit his head. The next ball, he had a helmet. The next ball, he tries a reverse sweep. And I have to say to myself, this guy, that's why the guys are watching and
they're watching television.
Doing this nonsense, and the guy almost got hit in his head. A medium pace, I would say fast bowler, because too often people categorize medium as fast bowler. But the guy is trying to scoop a ball, scoop, and then he tries a reverse sweep. But the other game in Portsmouth, right? That grammar school, I was disappointed. That's my old school. And grammar school got bowler for 24 runs today, in the semi-final of the under 20 cricket. Grammar school lost. They got 24 in the first inning and 67 in the second inning. The Northeast Comprehensive made 206 or something like that. So the final next week, you have the Northeast Comprehensive playing against the college. But man, I tell you, I watch this. I'm watching that guy and I'm saying, but somebody to talk to these guys. They need to learn the basics. Instead of trying to scoop ball, they have no idea what to do, and reverse sweep to a medium pacer when you have no clue. Yeah, and it's just nonsense. Yeah. And the guy could have got hurt.
Yeah, I guess the excitement of watching it on television.
Right.
Look how nice it works,
But these things, people practice them in the Thompson. They don't go in them. These things that people practice them. So when you have a young kid come in and doing that foolish things, but trying to scoop a ball and then you try to reverse sweep. I say, man, these people are just something else. I mean,
Dibo.
Hold on, we have a caller there. Good evening. Oh, you watch it today? You saw it?
Yeah, man, on the western side, man. Yeah, we try that over here. I asked him what stuff is that thing.
He did it more than once today. And he's on the guy's on his hunch. The guy had one fellow on his backside, trying to reverse and scoop. I mean, I say, man, this is crazy, man. Good night. We have another caller. Good night.
People, were you surprised that the boy low scoring?
Well, grammar school in my old school to get up for 24 is a shame.
When you were going to grammar school, where did this practice?
Well, we had our own ground. We had our own
technical wing or botanical garden?
Well, we had our own technical wing, and we had our own grounds when Dadai. For God's sake, skip for God's.
Dadai, the big roll in the place.
Dadai.
Yeah. But now, where do they have Sibo?
Well,
when they call also, we just have to pray and hope that they get somebody to coach them to do better.
Yes. Well, guys, a little football, Thompson. Tomorrow,
yeah, well, just finally, Sibo, they score 65-2 New Zealand.
Yeah, I just watched it.
But Sibo, before you go to football, I just want to make a quick observation. And again, I underscore the absence of development planning in Dominica. We could not put the lights in the stadium to be part of the T20 World Cup. But now we are redoing the wicket. The wicket is dug up and we are redoing the wicket. Where's our planning? Where's our coordination? What's really happening?
Well, I don't know. Don't ask me. You have to have the authorities that are doing this thing. They're hoping to get the South Africa come in the Caribbean in July, August. The plan is to get 2 ODIs in Dominica July, August. That's the plan. I don't know. So that's why they're redoing the pitch. The guy say he's hoping to have a better pitch, so he says. The expert, I think, from Australia or something like that.
I see everybody's preparing for the T20 World Cup, the PSL, the IPL. I see West Indians participating. Sibo, you know anything about a preparation program for the West Indies team for the T20 World Cup?
Well, I was speaking to the coach today. That's a question I had to ask him. We had a chat today, Darren Sammy. I didn't ask him that. He's the coach of, in fact, his team is playing against Vivian Richards.
They love him in Pakistan. They love it.
Well, in fact,
when everybody was afraid to go to Pakistan, he went to Pakistan.
In fact, he has been asked by the Pakistan Cricket Board to be the coach. I can reveal that now. They've offered him the coaching job for Pakistan. That's all I will say. Yeah. So there's something I want to read. Angelo Allen asked me to read for you. I'll read it just now. But Thompson in England, the British, it's 1-2 on Sunday. Manchester City playing Liverpool. Liverpool are 1 point ahead of City. They're playing on Sunday at Anfield. That'll be a big football game.
City is 1 point ahead of
Arsenal. And in fact, last week, well, the blue side of Manchester beat the red side 3-1. I mean, the red side, I support the red side, Manchester United, but they were defeated last week. Yeah, but let me just read this thing Angelo Allen said. He said, an appeal to Marigot community in the Commonwealth of Dominica. Being from one of the villages neighboring the community of Wesley, I have not yet understood the full depth of your concerns as it pertains to the injustice being done to the people of Wesley. To begin, as a son of the soil, I am personally disappointed with the manner in which the community of Wesley has remained amazingly silent in the presence of such atrocities. But really, the community is much larger than Wesley Village. Then he goes on to say, historically, it has always been Wesley, Woodford, and Marigot. Same parish. Your teachers taught the brightest students from Wesley. We still remember teacher Idris Popo, Hewlett, teacher Joan Lewis, teacher Rosie Edwards, teacher Lorna, an exceedingly committed school principal Mr. Mishak Linton, and others who shared similar interests in the development of Marigot Wesley community, for which the good folk of Wesley are very grateful. Together, we share the same priest, hospital, bank, feast, doctors and nurses, always same place of work at Londonderry Estate, Guest Estate in Woodford Hill, and although Marshall George's Minimart was located in Marigot, it served all the mentioned communities equally. There are many more areas that Wesley and Marigot link, and have always depended on each other community to show our full strength. Because this is a new generation, it should not mean cutting off relations which we enjoyed historically as part of our cultural heritage. I therefore appeal to you, our brothers and sisters of Marigot, to please broaden your view of the current crisis playing out in our community in the village of Wesley. We are all one people. Together we have struggled and survived over the years. Let's put aside our small differences and fight a good fight for the survival of generations to come. Angelo Allen said that.
Yeah. I'm a product of Mishak Linton from the Rosa Boys School.
Right. So Angelo is telling that. He says hopefully should be in the soon. Yeah. Angelo, good night, my brother.
Good night, Angelo.
We have a caller. Good evening.
Good night, sir.
Yes, good night.
Your guest, Mr. Lambi, yourself, Sibo, and the other gentleman.
Okay.
Mr.
Dr.
Sibo, my name
Fontaine.
is Ronnie. I'm trying to get across to Tony Caesar in Totola. I have a telephone number I want to give him for him to contact me.
Well, say it. Go on. He's listening. I'm sure he's listening.
My number is 265-9673. 265-9673. And I want to reach out to Ozzy Lewis. I don't know where I can see somebody to drop something for Ozzy for his movements, his flexibility, something to rub him.
Well, who am I speaking? You can get it to me. Who am I speaking to?
Yes.
Huh?
So Lambert you have my number. I live just in Goodwill, close to the laundry there.
Okay, well, I can call it and get to Ozzy.
Yeah, like something to rub for like the cayenne oil for his flexibility and other things. The whole movement slowing down, the body slowing down, so he can.
Who's speaking?
Yeah. And
Ronnie Happy. Okay. All right. Thank you, man. Thank you very much. Thank you. Guys, we come to Thompson Lobby, by the way. LeBron James broke the record and is the leading scorer in the history of American basketball, by the way. 40,000 points. Nobody has gotten there. And in fact, they were saying, Thompson, I know you follow that, the person they're looking at who can come close would be Dunkett. But it would take him 12 seasons from now, and he would have to average 28 points per game. Remember, LeBron James is still playing, by the way. Still playing.
Yes. So nothing is impossible in that NBA now.
Listen, yeah, but what they were saying, LeBron James looks like he can play another couple of years. So he's going to add more points.
I don't think so. I don't think so at all.
But maybe he's fitter than 90% of
I still understand it. How many games how many games he missed?
How many of the other younger people are missing? He's 39. Look at Embiid. How many they're missing, the younger people? So to that pinpointing, we have a caller. Let's send the caller before we end. Yeah. So, Thompson, you can comment? Yeah, Lobby, what do you say?
Yes, certainly. But I see we are out of time, Sibo. But
go ahead, make the point. No, it's okay.
The Workers' Voice will be back on the 21st of March. We'll be back.
Well, that's a big announcement. Say it again, Thompson. People are listening.
Just to announce that the Workers' Voice will be back at its regular spot right after Sports Wrap
That's long
on the
overdue,
21st, 2
Fontaine.
Thursdays from now. And of course,
Okay.
next week we go back to the cricket, the regional tournament as well. They're back
Correct.
Wednesday
Correct.
of next week. So we should have
And-
a lot of interesting scores next Thursday.
And England look like they're going to be humiliated in this test again. Because England from 175 for free.
One to baseball, one to basketball.
Well, I call it ass ball. That's what we ever call it. Like quickly. Good night.
Good night, Mr. Sibo. There's Darambo.
Hello, lady. How are you?
Oh, I'm there holding on.
I'm hearing you. Your voice sounding strong. You
Oh,
you
yes,
heard
you
Angelo
know I'm
Allen?
strong.
I read something from Angelo. You heard it?
What you said?
I read something from Angelo. You heard me, right?
Yes, I just called to tell him I'm so happy to hear his voice. And I'm so happy.
Well, it wasn't his voice.
And it was
I was
his voice.
reading what he said, sent to me. I was just reading for you all what he sent to me. Go ahead.
Yes, okay, yes. I want to tell him that I'm happy to be associated with him, and I love Margot people, I love Western people, I love all people on enough.
What about the people in Dominica? You don't love me, people in Dominica?
I love all of Dominica, but I'm
Okay.
special.
All right. I take your
Love
point.
all you, eh?
Thank you.
Love, bye-bye.
Ronald, you were saying, but I call it ass ball because they're playing foolish cricket.
Yeah,
really full. I mean, the kind of strokes you see. A man comes just before lunch, halfway down the wicket. Did you see it? Or Ollie Pope Thompson? Did you see that?
Yes, I saw. I was
just before lunch, and it's free quarter. What are you doing? And he gets stopped like a run out. I mean, come on, man.
I don't understand England, I honestly don't understand, basketball seemed to have worked for a while, but now it's hurting them, I think.
Well, it's called ass ball because when you score 218 and the other team is 125 for one, it looks like you will lose by the third day and you lose miserable because the ball is turning, the Indian batsmen are making it look easy. So let's say they score 400 tonight. England will be humiliated. And they will get forward in the series. Forward. So, guys.
In closing, let me make two quick comments in closing. The first comment, as I've spoken previously, Stefan Pascal should get some consideration to participate in the competition or local competition.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
The second point I want to make, that entry into Maro, that sovereign entry into Maro, please, Mr. Prime Minister, Mr. Blackmore, Mr. Laville, please do something about that before a vehicle go down there. The type of vehicles, the heavy-duty vehicles that go up and down is weakening the road. Please, I'm appealing to the Prime Minister, to Mr. Blackmore, and to Mr. Laville. Please do something on that road.
Thompson, Lobby, on your final comments?
Oh, well, Sebastian, early on, you're talking about your alma mater, 24 runs.
Yeah, 24 all out. Yes.
Sebastian, look, from the time what they did with technical wing, Windsor Park, that's it, There's nothing happening. There isn't anything. Landa Grammar School to Landa?
Yeah, I'm a grammar school boy.
Yeah, Look at what grammar school ground produced over the years. All right, you had your own ground.
Well, it's a shame that grammar school didn't hold up for 24.
Yes, I'm looking forward with great expectation to the regional competition.
Next week, yeah.
I'm waiting patiently for that. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, we watch Trinidad on Wednesday.
And I hope Winwoods can continue to excel as they have been doing. And I hope our young boys, Afanaz and Hodge continue to perform. And like Ron, I want to add my voice in making a pitch for Stefan Pascal. He should find a way in this competition. And we hope that the powers that be affording that opportunity.
Mr. Maxwell.
No, before we close, I have to take you all on that, No, serious. People don't just get people in a team. Sometimes, Thompson, I play cricket. You have to pick yourself sometimes.
True.
And it's not a matter of getting people in a team. Because take, for instance, like I said to you, the CCC team, their conditions, part of the conditions, you have to be at school. You have to be enrolled in a college. If you're not enrolled, you cannot play for the CCC. They allow 2 players, experienced players. Although I'm upset, the 2 they have are 2 Bajans in Shama Brooks and the Carter captain. The Windward Islands team, I don't see how you can have changes, the batting to be settled. So when I hear you also getting somebody, how does that happen? I would like to ask you all.
No, but Sibo, he can be in one of those teams. I don't know. I just think.
Like which one?
Which one?
Which one?
Anyone,
No, I'm asking you.
No, but is your
anyone,
listen, Bina. I
But
don't think
but
we should
serious,
rush.
because when like for instance, look, Ronald just mentioned about Maslin. Maslin cannot get anybody in team. It's selectors who select him.
Selectors select, but you can lobby, you can talk to people. You've got a case. The guy was the captain of West Indies under 19 to Sri Lanka.
Let the guy take
The
some
man was the
time.
captain of West Indies under 19 to the World Cup. And now we're having a local competition, and he's not part of that competition.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Even on the sidelines of a team, being a part of a team.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Make exception.
Jordan Johnson, middle from Jamaica, made hundreds. He was even on the A team, right? He's not in the Jamaica team.
That is Jordan Johnson.
No, but people get selected based on runs and wickets. You know, listen to me. You get selected on a team based on runs and wickets. You have to score runs or you have to take wickets. That's how people pick people. So you have to have statistics to show the selectors that you made runs. That's how people pick teams.
But Sibo, he must have some substance for him to be captain of West Indies team in an international competition.
But he's a batsman. Let him take some time.
50 and he got out very cheaply. He's a very good fieldsman. But he should be wrong with one of the teams. Be it, he may not be able to make Windward Islands team.
Well, which other team? Which team?
The CCC.
Yeah, but I just told you the rules.
There are exceptions to every rule, Sebastian.
Okay, what
There's exception to every rule.
But they have rules. The CCC team have rules. You have to be
enroll him in a course, man. Enroll him. I mean,
when somebody should do that. If you say in the parents or somebody should enroll him, because I'll tell you what, Gian Benjamin. He called because, as you know, he's a reserve for the winners. He wants to play. He enrolled at the college. I can tell you, I know he enrolled at the college, hoping that he'll get selected because the season is over. So that's what you have to do. If they have rules, it cannot be that you just come and play. It doesn't work. It's not a game Sue where you just say, I want to play and I play. It doesn't work like that. We have a caller last quickly. Good night.
Yes, Sibo.
Yes.
I'm glad to be at the end. Ronald, I'm also a product of Mishak at the Boys School.
Yes.
But I'm bothered by what that's in my mind tonight. Because I heard you when you ask the nurse whether she also loves Roseau people.
I said Dominica. I didn't say Roseau.
People, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I just received tonight a response from the clerk of the house. I asked him, have you all received yet a replacement for Sean Douglas, Saint Sean Douglas? And he said no. Sean Douglas should have been replaced on February 5th, according to the Constitution. Dominicans are silent about the fact that their government is not obeying their own constitution. This morning I heard everybody talking about Mr. Grog.
Yeah.
But Dominicans and since
excessively too.
And since Mr. Fountain is on, what is the voice of the political parties? Your constitution is being ignored by the
But Darius.
Let's speed up. Guys,
it's a very vital point, Yeah. But I think you should raise that with Matt tomorrow, and Matt will give you some time.
Yes, for sure.
Matt will give you some time tomorrow morning to raise that very important point.
Time is limited now.
In fact, I think you should come to the studio tomorrow morning, and that's important.
Very
what
important.
You said there. I wish you had called earlier and tell us, but we have to end now. But thanks for that. Please go to Q95 tomorrow. Have a discussion.
Matt will entertain you.
So on behalf of Ronald Lander, Emmanuel Loblack, Dr. Thompson Fontaine, and Lambert Charlton, the consul, good night to everybody. You'll hear us next week again. Good night.
Adios.